Hi there everybody, it's Arity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you very much for joining me today for another card making video. Today making my design team entry for the Inspire Create challenge. We're up to challenge 160 and this time it's a sketch challenge, so we're using a pre-designed sort of layout, if you like, as a starting point for our projects today. Links will be in the description down to the original blog post for the Inspire Create challenge, and there's also a link to my actual post. But if you go to the Inspire Create, there'll be links to all the other design team projects there as well. So do take a look, because everyone will have done something slightly different. So this is my offering, okay? So as you can probably gather, the sketch is going to take us down to a layered card with two panels on the front that are offset and a circular element in the middle. But you know, just because the sketch says it's a circle doesn't mean to say we couldn't have substituted that for something else or whatever. So it's merely a starting point, but this is what I have created today. So with these panels, so I'm just going to give you a quick measurement because I can't remember how wide I made those. The white panels were actually 1.5 inches onto some mats there, so I think I made the vellum the same width. Yes, I did. This is Old Olive. I don't use Old Olive a lot, but I thought I'd go for something a little bit more serene. Okay, so it's an Old Olive mats and layers. This is a strip of vellum that I've coloured. I've actually used Lemon Lime Twist for that. Sentiment in Old Olive, but the background detail on that is in Lemon Lolly. So a sort of gradation of colour, a few little foil gems on there. Okay, and then these panels have been embossed as well, just to give them a little bit more interest against the white background. So really nice white on white elements. So the little details in the background there have come from the Detailed Dogwood stamp set, which is a free set during celebration. Okay, so if you place a qualifying order, this is one of the things that you can select. So we've got this little kind of bud branch there. On this card I used the stitched shapes to create my circle, but again, it doesn't have to be a circle, so I've actually swapped it out this time, and I'm going to use one of these dies, which is really, really pretty. So it's the third one up from the middle. Just going to pop that out of the way. Okay, one of these nice circular elements, which has some nice dots around it, which I've already die cut anyway, so won't be doing it on camera, but that's what I've used. This is a really great set. It coordinates with another stamp set called Thoughtful Expressions, with the hummingbird and stuff, which you've seen me use before. So I thought that was cute as a variation on that circle. Okay, where did the sentiments come from? Sentiments come from Perennial Postage. So this is coming out quite a lot for these stamps, so that's the I Can't Thank You Enough. We're going to do sending love and best wishes on this one because the circle's just a bit smaller. Okay, just to make it sort of fit a bit better. And the embossing folder we're going to use is this one, which I think is called Quatrefoil. Can you see that design? Not so much. Okay, there we go, it's a bit better. Just going to use that one today. I used the Country Corners one, or whatever that one's called, for my original. Okay, so let's get cracking on putting this together. I'm just going to put that to one side just for a second. I'm going to change the colours and a few of the dimensions. So we're going to go Blackberry Bliss for the card base, and we've got a plain white layer to go onto that when we're at that point. But the strips I've actually made smaller, so I have taken those down to 1 1/4. I just wanted to have more of this section showing, So by making the strips smaller, then obviously they'll be sat further across, so I'll see more of that showing. Okay, I'm just going to pop that in front of me so I've got it for reference. So, and then I've got a strip of vellum as well, ready to go. So first things first, I'm going to actually adhere these together. So when you emboss cardstock with an embossing folder, especially a 3D embossing folder, it's just by the nature of it, it's going to bend and crinkle your cardstock, and can slightly affect the dimensions of it, can make it look a little shorter and narrower than it originally was. So a couple of ways to get around that is to emboss and then trim, but then you run the risk of sort of squishing your embossing. Or you do it this way and you actually layer it up first, everything's in place, and then when you emboss it, it's all going to be embossed on its layers, and hopefully it'll still look like it's in the right proportions. So I'm going to line this up on this embossing folder so that the pattern looks something like straight and even, like so. So when we put it together, that kind of flows on the card. I'm going to use my Stampin' Cut and Emboss to do the embossing. So we're just going to have a clear plate on top of that. This is a regular embossing folder, so we just need the base plate. And we're going to sandwich it between our cutting plates, but take away the thin die plate, and we're just going to roll that through. A little stiffer because we've got 2 layers of cards going through, but it will go through, no problem. Okay, they've moved slightly in the folder, but it won't matter. You could add a little ink to this, or anything you like to emphasise that embossing if you wanted to, but I'm going to leave mine white today. Okay, so those are our little panels then for our card. Okay, they're going to end up going on with dimensionals, so I'm going to use some of these little offcut strips here for that. So I'm just going to pop those top and bottom on there, so they're ready to go. And then with our vellum, so I've just made a crease at one end of this, but not all the way across, and I'm just going to grab some scrap paper, and I'm going to use a dark Fresh Freesia Stampin' Blends marker to colour this vellum. So the bit that's going to fold round we aren't going to see, so we don't need to do that. It's making a wonderful noise. I hope that's not too irritating, but try and do it quickly for you. Just working across that. So the alcohol ink in these will dry nice and quickly. So vellum's like a non-porous surface, so you know, wet, water-based, I should say, products don't do well on it. But the alcohol markers do okay, and we're just going to do that. And I've actually done it on both sides just to try and emphasise that colour a little bit, because it will make it look very muted compared to what it would be on cardstock. But I don't want it too super strong, okay? So if I'd have gone with bubble bath or something, I think that would have turned out very, very pale. So that's going to dry off, and it does give it just that nice soft colour. Okay, so we've got that one end on there. Okay, and I actually like to get this positioned, and then I'm going to use because once it's folded, it's very hard to unfold it, if you know what I mean. So if you don't get it right, you've put your crease in the wrong place. So I'm going to grab my little emboss tool from the Simply Scored, and I'm going to run that along the edge of that cardstock there, so that I can then bend that over and make sure that that crease is nice and sharp. Okay, now because we're sticking things over the top, you probably could hide your glue and stuff from this, because it would show through, but because we're putting the panels across, you could pop your glue there, but obviously the strips around the back mean that we can adhere this on the back here just with our Stampin' Seal. Again, wet glue isn't great with vellum. Kind of makes it like bubble up, like crinkle up. Okay, and the other element we're going to put on this is this lovely sheer ribbon with the metallic silver edge. Okay, it's probably going to be way too long. Yep. Excuse me. So this was just an offcut on the desk there. So I'm just going to trim that. Pop some more tape over the back there. Get that secured across the middle. Take it around the front. Try not to bend your card as you go, but you want it tight enough so it doesn't sort of sag and bow on the front. Okay, so that's our card front, which we can now pop onto our Blackberry Bliss card base. So again, just using Stampin' Seal for that. So all that's going to sort of sandwich in those elements as well and keep them secure. That might have wandered off a little bit, but that's fine. Okay, so that strip, I mean, I've opted to do this just as something different, but you know, it could be anything. It could be DSP, cardstock, stamping, twine, all that kind of stuff. So now we want our panels on, and I'm going to be really fussy and try and make those match up, which is that way round. Okay, so these panels can just go on now. I think the sketch makes them look reasonably central, so that's fine, but you don't have to make them central. You could offset them, as in top and bottom, I mean. So we're going to go about there, I think. Just keeping this white edge as straight as possible. And this one can go next door. Oh, that doesn't want to come off. There we go. So don't forget you use the edges of your dimensional packs as well as your actual little hexagon things. You can get loads of little pieces out of that. It's perfect for this kind of thing. And sentiments as well, long thin sentiments. So now those are in place. So I've got this lovely little die cut, like I say. So we just need to, actually, which way around is that going to go? Because you can have it sort of that way with the small bump at the top, or you can have it that way with the big bump at the top. That way, I think. And then we've got this sending love and best wishes. So we're going to use the oh, sorry, we need to do the background first. This little background needs to go on. That's going to go. The sentiment's going to be Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to bring in Bubble Bath. It's only because I saw the Bubble Bath ink pad over the back of my desk, and I was like, I haven't used that Bubble Bath. What am I using that for? So we're going to ink that up, and we're just going to stamp that across the back of this and just twirl it around and just fill it up. it's just to add something to the background, really. I don't think it's big enough to really kind of, you know, worry about whether it's the right way up and all that kind of stuff. It's just to add some funky detail there. That being a technical term, I'm sure some of you are going to comment on my wonderful terminology. Okay, and then we'll do our sentiment, and hopefully I'm going to get it straight, because we're stamping straight onto a die cut. I'm not sure that's actually straight on the block either, so we're going for it, guys. So we're just going to go for it, because normally I would stamp and then die cut out. So if it's not quite straight, forgive me. I just wanted to try and do this ahead of time. Oh no, it's far way off. So that's fine. Oh, actually, do you know what? Stamping it at a... obviously wasn't concentrating fully on that one. So, but, you know what? Stamping it at a jaunty angle probably isn't actually that terrible. We're just going to go with it. That's the way I rock and roll. Okay, so, and again, I just want some dimensionals on that. The textured surface isn't, when you're using dimensionals, you want to really have them on a flat, but what we'll do is we'll pop a little bit of wet glue on it, which will help sort of get into that texture of that embossing and help us keep that in place. So if you just pop a bead of that on, this is a new glue, onto the back of yeah, wrestling with me. Shall I just leave it jaunty? Yeah, it's fine. But I'm lining it up with that sort of vellum bit there as well, just to sort of bring the design across. So let's pop that there, and then we've just got some of these foil, the iridescent foil gems is what they're called. Now they have got little gold bits in them, and I've used silver on the thing, but you know what, mixed metallics is totally a thing. So you know, go with what makes you happy. If you want to use something else, then obviously you can pick something else from your stash. Okay, so just pop those 3 gems on there just to highlight that nice little sentiment panel. Okay, so that's pretty much it then. That's the card for today, using Blackberry Bliss, Fresh Freesia and Bubble Bath for this design. Slightly smaller panels. This was the original that I used, Old Olive, Lemon Lime Twist and Lemon Lolly. Slightly different embossing folder and slightly larger panels. Okay, so I think this design sort of helps emphasise some of the other elements, but it's sort of, you know, with a sketch, that's the whole idea. You take the inspiration and you mould it to what you want. Okay, you can really go to town with something like this. There's no limits to what products or whatever you need to do. So that's it for today. Don't forget to pop along to the blog post and see everybody else's creations. So they'll all be totally different, I'm sure. And that's it from me. Hope you've enjoyed it. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.